welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Cassie, also known as KnittaCass. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about the projects that I'm making, patterns that I'm drooling over, a little bit about some family life on a small farm in Vermont. Not a whole lot of that lately. The farm's a little bit boring. Some books I'm reading, and a spice of mental health. So go ahead, grab your favorite beverage, a project to work on, and let's chat. I of course have my Pepsi, which is equivalent to most people's coffee. I actually have a finished object today, and I'm pretty excited to share it. It is in my Goose and Ghost Knits bag. This is a new to me maker. This was one of the sponsored products from Sock Week, which is a knit along hosted by Knitty Natty, and it's kind of a play on Shark Week, and the challenge is to knit one sock in 8 days. My personal challenge was to knit a pair of socks in the 8 days, and I even made a pattern pair of socks, so I am pretty impressed with myself. So these are my finished socks. This pattern was super fun and addicting. I've made it before. This is the Lake Ontario sock pattern by Nancy Wheeler. It's really great for self-striping. The pattern picture was actually made with like a tonal or variegated, I can't quite remember, but someone had recommended it to me for self-striping pattern when I was knitting my Wednesday pair of socks. And I loved the pattern, so this is what I did for this pair of socks. This is a colorway by Desert Vista Dye Works, and it is called Summer Sock Camp 2021. I got it on a D-stash a couple years ago and decided I would use it for Kay of the Crazy Sock Ladies Knit Along the Summer, which is called Summer Sock Camp. She does it every summer, and the idea is just to knit as many socks as you'd like from whenever her kids get out of school. I can't remember when it is, maybe mid-June until August 31st. I had a lot of plans to knit so many socks. I pulled out different yarns and things that I was going to work on, and picked out some patterns, and it's not really working out that well, but that's okay. So this is Desert Vista Dye Works Summer Sock Camp 2021, and my contrast for my heels, toes, and cuff was this leftover yellow yarn. I don't remember the name of it, by the Lopsided Crafter, and I had knit one of my designs in it, the Tanya socks, and we had collaborated together, and it had this bright yellow and like a cream. So that's the only finished object that I have to share with you today. I do have a few whips. Some have not really gotten a lot of love. The first one is in this bag. I don't know the maker. There's no tag on the bag. I got it at Rhinebeck a couple years ago. And in it is my emotional support chicken. This is a pattern by Knitting Tree LA, and I am making this out of scrap yarn. Previously knit a emotional support chicken with some leftover yarns that I had. It was more of like some pinks and glittery color, and so I thought that this time I would make more of like kind of rustic, realistic colors. So this is a colorway by Bumblebee Acres. It's called, I can't remember if it's called House of the Dragon, Dragon Egg, or Daenerys. I think it's House of the Dragon. Really cool colorway. And then I've got this kind of mustard yellow. I don't know the dyer or the colorway. And then same with this red. I don't know the dyer or the colorway. And I'm making this in fingering weight. I also have this really cute stitch marker. It is a plate of cookies and milk. It was in the advent calendar from Adore Knit. I had the one that had progress keepers, stitch markers, and extras, and it was the best advent calendar I've ever had. I plan on getting it again this year, and I highly recommend. That project has not gotten any love since the last time you saw it. Also working on the Sidal or Sidal socks. It's got this really cute pattern on the, like just below the cuff, and you do it again don't know if you can see it on this page. You do it again down by just before you start the heel. It has a different heel than what I'm used to, so I'm excited to try it. It's by Cheryl Toy, and it is in this Operation Sock Drawer book that I got off of D-Stash a few years ago. I am making it out of one of the Yarnable colorways. I don't remember the colorway. I'm getting better at keeping the ball bands together in my project bag, but I have not done that for this project, unfortunately. So it's this really nice blue with some pink speckles. And I had, the last time I showed you, I had the cuff and some of the pattern. And I was getting carried away with the pattern. While I was knitting it, it seemed like the math wasn't adding up. And particularly one of her like decrease rounds, I thought maybe I knew better than her because it didn't make sense. And I thought, okay, you wrote it in a way that an experienced knitter would understand what you meant. And so I did what I thought she meant. Messed it all up. It looked kind of ridgy on the sides. It was awful. But I didn't decide to rip it out until I was probably this far on the sock. And it was on my trip to the Boston Aquarium, which I'll talk a little bit more about when I get to the family life segment. So I ripped it out and started again and haven't really done a whole lot. There is some of the pattern. It's really hard to see right now, but when I was knitting it last time, once I got a little bit further, it was a lot easier to see the pattern. I'm knitting this on Magic Loop, and the two little stitch markers I have is a mixtape that says Best of the 90s and a really cool heart. These came from, I think it's the Chicken Lady. I'll put her name down below. I discovered her in the membership for the Crazy Sock Lady. We have a Facebook group and people share about what they're making, what they're drooling over, yarns they've got, and they also share some of their businesses that they own. And she has 90s inspired stitch markers right now in her shop, and that's where I got those. And it's in this really cute canvas bag from So Crazy Crafter. The next and final whip that I'm going to show you is one that has got me really excited. I've got a lot of work on it, but also has got me really, really frustrated. It's the VBAC Tee by Jamie Hoffman. And I am knitting it out of this really fun color. This is by Ruby and Roses, and it's the Love and Roses colorway, which was an exclusive colorway for the Love and Stitches membership. And this really fun color, this is Love in Speckles, and this is a colorway from the Little Wolf Knits, also an exclusive colorway for the Love and Stitches membership. And it's in this bag from the Knitwit Yarn Shop in Portland, Maine. So last time I showed you, I had either just split for the sleeves or I was just about to. So I put this Progress Keeper, I think it's the Littlest Charm Co., but I'll put it down below. It's this really cute turtle with some sand and a crab and a seashell. And the little face is just so precious, so cute. So I put that there. This is how much progress I've done since the last time I've seen you, but this is still pretty fast knitting for me. I made a plan that I would finish this by August 3rd, and I broke it into really easy steps. Like I counted the rows for the different sections, and on certain days I was going to do like section 1 so many rows and then section 1 so many rows. Sort of broke it up like that. Very obtainable. I did neglect it a little bit to finish my sock for sock week, but yesterday when I picked it up, I found something that's been happening and I was really upset. So this is designed to have a drop V. so you can see the V. In the back, you can wear it in the front, but it's made for it in the back. And so because that part is so long compared to the front, you do short rows to kind of round it out so you can get back in the round before you do your hem. So during short rows, she uses a double stitch. And I thought everything was going okay. But yesterday, I noticed this. I don't know how well it's turning up on camera, but it looks like elongated stitches that are just loose and sloppy, and it just sticks out. And so it won't block out. It'll be really obvious. I think it will even be obvious to non-knitters. And I really want this to be a finished object that I'm proud of and proud to wear in public. So I have to rip back, and I don't like tinking. I don't like ripping back. I've never really taken the time to do that. And the pickle is in her pattern for her short rows. Sometimes you're resolving short rows, or sometimes you're resolving the double stitches, but you're also making stitches, and some rounds you're not making stitches, but you're resolving. And so there's really no way when I tink back to know what row I'm on. But I think that's the only way I can fix it. So I'm gonna have to tink back all the way until I'm knitting in the round again, which is pretty frustrating. And I was kind of hoping I could weave in a needle and then just like pull back, but then I will lose my beginning of round, I'll lose my right side marker, I'll lose my markers that go around the V shape, and I'm not really sure it would actually work. So row by row, I'm going backward. And if you have ever knit double stitches and have experience with them, I'm really curious if you have a suggestion, because it's only when I'm resolving it on the knit side. If I'm resolving the double stitch on the wrong side, it's neat, but it's the knit side that's just really messing it up. So yes, all of this progress, and I have to rip back like 3-ish inches, which is pretty sad. And I won't finish it on the 3rd, which is not a big deal because it was a deadline that I put on myself. So I'm hoping to do some like potato chip TV watching where I can have the TV on and be entertained, but not actually have to pay attention, so I can pay sharp attention to the pattern. I have no other whips, but I did pick out yarn for something that I'm about to cast on. It's in this really cute project bag that was made for me from my friend Christina. We did a swap. She lives in Germany and she made this bag for me. I'm going to make a pair of socks out of this beautiful yarn. It's a really nice white color with speckles of like red and blue. It's got a little bit of yellow here, so yellow orange. I'm curious if there's more of that I can't see and how that will play up. It is by Yarnable, which is a subscription box by Hypnotic Yarn, and it's the July colorway. It's Oh My Stars. It's on their plush sock base 8515 superwash nylon, or superwash merino and nylon. I'm going to knit this really cute pair of ankle socks. I can't remember the name of it. I meant to write it down in my show notes, but I'm on a little bit of a time crunch right now because I have an appointment shortly. So I will put a picture of the pattern and I will put the name of the pattern as well. It's got this really cute edging on the cuff and it's an ankle sock. It'll be a really quick knit and it will just be super great. I think the recipient would really enjoy it. I also want to cast on I don't know what it's called. It's a doodle and it's about baking. I think that would be super fun. I'm kind of deciding what I want my base color to be. When I did my Rhinebeck doodle, I used 2 different base colors and kind of striped them. I don't want to do that on this one. I want one continuous solid color in the back, and then I'll probably use scraps for the contrast for the motifs. So I'm hoping to cast that on soon. No pressure, but I just really enjoyed making the motifs. I'm also drooling over the Summer Court Tank by Dragon Horde Yarn. I'm not going to have it done for this summer, so I will probably cast that on around my birthday in April, and even if I'm a pokey puppy about knitting it, it would be done in like spring, summer. So that's my plan. And I'm also drooling over the staple linen top. I believe that's what it's called. It's by Hoagie Locatelli. I'll put pictures of both of these in here while I'm chatting. And I could make that even during the winter. Like, I could wear it in the house. It's a sleeveless, but it's not a tank top. So that's what I'm drooling over right now. Also, one more thing I'm drooling over. I'm drooling over the Stardust sweater, also by Dragon Horde Designs. She is my favorite designer and one of my favorite yarn dyers. So I tend to look at her stuff more than other people. So it's called the Stardust sweater, and it's got some cables, it's got a couple bobbles, but they're subtle bobbles. They're not like obnoxious bobbles. I had knit it before and I got to like the center of my bust and realized that it does fit me, but I didn't account for the ease. So it would be like tight, not just form fitting, but like sucked to you tight. I didn't know about ease and how I wanted to calculate what my finished bust would be, not the bust that I have. So when you measure your bust, then you look at the pattern and look at the finished measurements, and you want to knit the item, like the sweater, that will result in your finished measurements, not your exact bust size. Yeah, so that took a learning curve. So I'd like to pick that back up. I really enjoyed the knit, and it's a sweater that I think I would wear a lot. I'm of course going to knit it in some pink because I love pink. Previously, when I knit it in a pink, and I held it with pink mohair, and it was really beautiful. So I'll probably do that again. It might not stream perfectly right now because I had an appointment at 1 and I had to stop recording so that I could go to the appointment. And now I am looking at my notes to try to figure out what I talked about, and I'm hoping to pick back up now. So it might feel a little bit wonky, so bear with me. So I talked about my whips, and I talked about the patterns I'm drooling over. So that brings me to my SCO, which is should have cast on already. And that is washcloths. I've missed the last 3 months of washcloths. I think it's 3 months. Last night, my accountability partner, Sarah, had reached out to me, and she was like, a couple days previously, she had reached out and said, we just have a couple days to cast on, because we had made the plan that we'd cast on July and then worry about catching up at another time so that it would seem less overwhelming. And I said, oh yeah, that's perfect. I'll cast on when I get home. I have to wait for my son to come home because we're getting some flash flooding again. So I'll be staying up late and I'll cast it on. But I didn't do it at all. And August washcloth came in today. If you're new here, speaking of, I should take a minute. So if you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. I really appreciate your support. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for checking me out. If you guys wouldn't mind liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, that really helps the algorithm trying to boost my subscribers and have more people to chat with. So if you're new here, the washcloths that I'm knitting are from the Kitchen Sink shop. If you sign up for her newsletter, on the first of every month, you'll get a new washcloth pattern for free. And I was using that as my way to complete my goal of 12 washcloths in a year. I'm very behind. So I would say that I'm going to cast on today, but I really want to fix my V-back tee first. So it might not happen, but I should really do it soon. I should cast on July and August. Time will tell. We'll see if I'm a liar or not the next time I chat with you. In terms of family life, the baby of our family, Weston, is going to be turning 11 in a short little while. So that's pretty exciting and also kind of sad. You know, we're not having any more kiddos, and so he is forever going to be the baby who's not really a baby anymore. And we are going to a water park on Sunday to celebrate his birthday, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm also excited that he's going to be playing football this year. His older brothers played football, and we absolutely loved the program that they have and the community around it, and just loved watching them play. So I'm super excited to watch him play. He is absolutely stoked. I've never seen him this happy for a sport before. So I am looking forward to the next few months. Even on the days where you're sweating like crazy and it's so hot you can't get shade because it's a jamboree, and the nighttime games when it gets closer, like in October-ish, and you're freezing to death, like I'm gonna take it all. I'm excited. Michael, he's my oldest of the boys, is going to be moving out this weekend, which is bittersweet. I'm very proud that he's going and spreading his wings. He is apprenticing to take over a roofing company in a couple years. So he works really hard. He's been saving some money, and he will be moving out this weekend. Luckily, he is renting an apartment off my in-laws right across the street. So he's not really going very far, but he'll still have a chance to have his independence. What else for family life? I don't think there's a whole lot more for family life. I did do a vlog recently for our trip to the Boston Aquarium, and if I can figure out how to make a little link up here to click onto it, I will. Otherwise, go ahead and check out my vlog. It is just really neat. You got some good footage of the things that we saw, and yeah, it was just really great. So that brings me to books that I'm reading. So I did finish The Starless Crown. I'll write the author down below. It was a good book. It had parts that were super descriptive and super creative and wicked fantasy, and I absolutely loved it and I was all for it. And then it would have times where it was just like kind of dull. So there's a couple books I want to read. I feel really behind on reading. So the last several chapters I basically skimmed, which sounds kind of bad. It ended really well. I don't think I'm gonna read the rest of the series. I don't think I'm interested anymore. I think the one book was enough for me. And it did tie up all the loose ends, so that was pretty great. I also finished Hooked. I'll write her, I think it's her. I'll write the name of the author down below. It was mostly a spicy smut book, but it did have a plot line, and there was a two plot twists at the end. So if you don't mind a little spicy kind of smut type books, it was a mediocre storyline, but it did have some really cool twists that were worth reading, I think. What else have I think that's it for what I've finished reading. I did start The Firekeeper's Daughter. This is by Angeline Boulley or Boulley. I'm not sure how she says it. This is a really good book. I started it a couple days ago, and I don't really want to put it down. Like, I look forward to reading it. I look forward to my lunch break. I look forward to coming home and reading. I've even like carved off some of my knitting time to sit on the couch reading it. It is about a girl. How do I explain it without giving too much? It's about a girl in her community, and there's some social stuff in her community going on. She's she belongs to two different communities. One is like mostly French based, and the other one is Indian based, and they kind of conflict with each other. That's not quite the storyline, but it is a big part of the book so far. And a tragic event happens, and she is now trying to kind of put the pieces together and figure out what's going on. And yeah, I think it's a really good book. I want to know what's happening. I want to know why the tragic thing happened, and all the details. I want to know all the answers. So highly recommend so far Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. Am I reading? I'm not reading anything else right now. I have a huge to be read list, Me and my sister are sending each other books once a month with different themes, and I am just so behind on reading. I really should put my knitting aside to read, or learn how to read and knit at the same time. That would be ideal. Yeah, I really think that's it. Editing Cassie here. So I just realized that I never announced my winner. I did a giveaway from the comments on my last YouTube video, and it is a choice of one of my patterns for free. And so the winner is, it says La Didi 73, and I'm going to put the comment right here. So if you are the winner, please message me at funneverends4@gmail.com. I'll also put this on the slide here, and I will get your prize out to you. Congratulations. So that brings me to my favorite part of the podcast, which is a spice of mental health. And today is just really simple and easy. It was sent by my sister a little while ago, and it made me think. And so it's just a reminder that the world, and it's in a picture form, so I'll show it. It's just really, really simple, that the world looks the same before and after you make a mistake. Like, even no matter how big the mistake feels, it's not as big. Like, it doesn't have as big of a ripple effect as you think it's going to. It's not as much of a big deal that you're making it seem to yourself. So I'll put that little picture here. I think it's helpful sometimes to have a little visual. And yeah, be kind to yourself. Happy making, and I'll see you next time. Bye.